Hi, my name is Augustine Here, this is my story.
மன்னார் புனித சவேரியார் ஆண்கள் கல்லூரியில் என்னுடைய பாடசாலை வாழ்க்கையும் பின்பு எங்கள் நாட்டில் ஏற்பட்ட சில பிரச்சனைகள், அதாவது இந்த 80களில் ஏற்பட்ட பிரச்சனைகளின் காரணமாக நான்.
It was a cloudful, gloomy December when I awoke to find the entire area surrounded by artilleries and aircraft. People fled here and there to save their lives. We crossed the close-by lagoon when naval gunboats started to fire and finally wrecked our small fishing boat. Luckily, I managed to save myself with my little knowledge of swimming. I put my 2 hands to elderly people to pull them to the shore. If that would happen to my sister or my grandma, it would be the same feeling. I would not allow them to be lost. The youngsters like me were specially targeted by the military forces, but I chose not to fight. I left the country to study and to work. But over the years, I married and my wife and child were still back home. The fighting was getting worse and I wanted to protect my family. Soon it became more than that. Every time I saw people standing in a queue for basic dry foods or living in refugee camps with no water or toilets, I thought, how can I do more? I became a humanitarian worker to serve the people, those who are affected by man-made and natural disasters. As a part of United Nations, I saw many phases of violence such as cruel rape, torture and more. Sometimes the government would ask us to help check the areas for landmines. We would go not knowing if we would come back. We set up transition shelters for the internally displaced people. I learned how to console affected people by these type of abuses, which you cannot say in words or cannot share with anyone. My organization was hired by the Canadian Embassy to do the orientation for legal migrants from Sri Lanka. That helped me to study about Canada. My son was a teenager and I wanted to have the best opportunities for him in education. We decided to come as a skilled migrant. After I came to Canada, I started volunteering and then got a job with Social Services Network. I met many refugees, those who have gone through many abuses by human traffickers. Canada is not a war-torn zone, but the clients who come here as refugees, they bring their traumatic memories with them. I played all roles as refugee, repatriate, and internally displaced person. I myself escaped 3 times from very narrow death. We have survived, and I can give them confidence to stand firmly and take the next step. So the violence is violence if this takes any forms or anything. But the traumas, especially the people, those who came from some war-related zones, they are coming with the huge challenges. On a daily basis, I used to meet, there are lots of women's family members, especially seniors from the workplace that I am involving. And I came to know there are lots of stories, especially, elders, how they are becoming the victims of emotional abuse or elder abuse. And also, that I have the connection with one of the settlement agency, and through that one, sometime, I hear stories from the victims of the domestic violence. There is one specific point I would like to mention here, because that if you go through, or if you get a chance to go through the Canadian judicial system or the legal, it clearly says, so if a woman abused by a husband, or if you abused by a sponsor, it's not really necessary to remain in silence.